All right, what's up guys? Welcome back for another video. Today it is 37 degrees out, feels like 29, and what better day than to go outside and work on the truck. So after talking with some of you guys through the Facebook groups, through the messengers and Instagram and all that good stuff, I got motivated again to go outside and mess with the truck just to check to see if I could find this damn clunking noise. It's supposed to snow tomorrow, so also that's why I'm going out. Might think I'm crazy, but got some motivation right now. So if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about with this clunking noise, pause this video. I'm gonna go link it up here. Go check that video out. Got a lot of feedback from that video. It seems like you guys are pretty into it. Some of you guys have the same problem as me. Not sure if everyone has the same setup as me, but this seems to be a common-ish problem on the ZR2s, and I'm gonna try to get to the bottom of this. One of the things I think it could be, which I'm not sure if it's actually fixable, is the axles just moving back and forth in the differential, in which case I'm fine with that, but I would like to know that's the problem. So the thing in my head that I think the problem is, because it happened to me once before, is my peak suspension upper control arms. Let me show you. I got you up on the tie right now. This is the upper control arm right here, and these are your bushings. So I believe they're made out of polyurethane. I could be wrong. These bushings actually need to be greased. Now underneath the arms down there's actually a grease fitting that you're supposed to grease. And when you grease these fittings, you have to have the bolts loose, or else the pressure from the grease pushing out could expand those bushings. So the problem with this is, with the ZR2, you can't get a wrench in there. So that's one bolt right there, and the other one is back there, and it's just wide enough for my finger. So the first time those things got messed up and stretched out, I had the alignment shop grease those while they were doing the alignment, and because I didn't have the grease gun to do that. And obviously those bolts were tight. I didn't know this. Once again, pretty stupid design if you ask me, that those things have to be loose. That stretched it out the first time. Now this time, when I put the new bushings in, I tried to grease the hell out of it. My plan was, a few months later, I was gonna drop the suspension to loosen those bolts up to grease it. And not that I didn't get around to it, but it started making the noise before I could even get to that point. I'm not saying that is the issue, because we're gonna go check together. One of the other things could be the tie rod, the inner tie rods, which someone did ask me in the comments, I forget who, and I just said they were good because I disconnected them from the spindle, the knuckle, whatever you wanna call it, and tried to move it around to see if anything was loose, and nothing was loose. So I might actually take the boot off just to confirm with my own eyes that the inner tie rod's tight. So I have the GoPro charging up right now. I'm gonna take the mount. I'll show you well, I'll take it out of the car and show you what I'm gonna do with it. I'm gonna put it in the wheel well. I'm thinking of connecting it to the upper control arm, which might not be the best spot. If I could think of a different spot to put it, I'll do that, just to see when we're driving around if I could see anything moving. Then we're gonna come back and start taking stuff apart, I guess. This, I made this. This was like my first metal working welding project that I ever did, and happy with how it came out. But I threw this on. Not sure if the tire is gonna hit when it turns in, but at least we could look at that bushing, which this is, like I said, this is probably a horrible angle because this whole upper control arm is gonna move with the suspension. Just see if I can turn the wheel without hitting that, and then we're gonna go for a ride, and then I'm still just gonna take the front apart anyway, so might be a cool angle. Wow, that couldn't be any closer. Put this up a little bit. So at least we're going to be looking at this, we'll at least be looking at this one bushing. It might be the back one, it could be the front one, if that's even making the noise. I'm not too sure if I'm going to wind up moving this mount just to see. Probably just going to go off, like, pull out of the driveway, go like, put the front wheel on a curb and let it drop off, because that's where I'm getting the noise. That angle is actually a lot better than I was expecting it to be. Still couldn't tell anything. And like I said earlier, I'm still gonna rip the front of this car apart anyway, but let me get all the tools together. Let me get this front end, well, not the whole front end, but let me get the wheel off, and really just the bolt holding the upper control arm to the spindle I want to take off, and then maybe we're gonna get to the inner tie rod today. If not, I'll do that tomorrow, because I don't know if I have the correct hose clamp to go back with it, but we might make it work. We might figure out something to make it work today and then go back and fix it later on. Cue the little edit. So there's a little bit of play in the arms, and that's probably my noise. So let me see if I can get you guys in there close enough to hear it ever so slightly, and that's probably why it only makes a noise when it's like slamming down. It's probably from something maxing out and slamming down. Hopefully you're able to hear that. There is movement in it, and that's probably radiating through the entire car whenever the suspension drops out. Probably just something maxing out and making that come out all the way. Second time. Also, if you watch this one, this bushing seems to be moving opposite. Let me get a light. It's pretty wild, because right now I can't get it to make the noise again. So I don't know what the hell. Time to put this whole back together. Then we're going to check the other side just to make sure that side's good. It's very weird. And it appears as if this side's doing the same thing. Awesome. And I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it, but let's try it. One other thing I noticed when I'm in here is one of these boots seemed like it slid a little bit, so there's a little grease coming out, which isn't a big deal to me, but this back one has a little pinhole in it, just like our passenger side. The same pinhole that was like the one on the passenger side, and I just did a video on how to fix that. If you want to go check that out, I'll link that up there. I find that the inside one is easier to change than the outside one, but if you're changing one, you might as well change both. It's easier to go from the inside CV joint than the outer one, at least from my experience. I'm just going to throw all this back together since we found out, well, at least I found a noise. I'm not going to check the inner tie rods today, even though I said I was. I'm going to wait till I order those new clamps, because the ones that are on there are one-time use, and you can use just a regular like hose clamp, worm clamp style, but I don't have one big enough, and I don't want to connect two of them just to do that. So I'll just wait till I get the correct size in the mail. And I'm also going to message Peak. I'm going to see if I could get they came out with a Delrin style bushing, which actually came out like right after they sent me these, since my other ones were making noise. And if I knew that, I would have just waited for the Delrin ones to come out. Going to message them, see if they'll send me those and swap them out. Hopefully we won't have this problem ever again. Now I remember in the full walk around video, if you didn't see the full walk around of this truck, go check it out. I'll link that one up there too. But I mentioned in there that I was going to show the King suspension from side to side of how much mine is threaded, because to me it's a pretty big difference, and I forgot to do that. So if you saw that video and you're watching this one, And if you're still here, this is my driver's side. And this is the passenger side. If you have King shocks also, let me know if yours are the same way, because I don't know if something's wrong with my truck or that's just the way it is, but that levels it out. Whew. All right, it's getting a little cold out now. Good thing we're finished. So let's recap this whole video. First of all, that GoPro angle was actually pretty damn cool. I might use that again at some point, especially if I go off-roading, but I mean, at the same time, then you don't see anything, but I guess I could face the GoPro out. Might be cool. I don't know yet. Might work with that angle a little bit. Maybe I'll make another mount. So these peak suspension upper control arms. This is the second set of aftermarket arms I've had. I had the GM high angle ones, which are basically the same as the stock ones, which with a different ball joint from what I could tell. I kind of hate that design because if it spins in the spindle, you can't really get a wrench in there to hold, because you have to hold it with an Allen key in place so it doesn't spin, and then get a wrench to undo it. Can't get in there that well. I feel like it doesn't ever clamp that tight. Always had problems with those two. I even changed the whole knuckle spindle thing out at one point on the passenger side, just because I thought there was too much play, and that didn't help. So we upgraded to the peak arms. They've been good. Even with the uniball that a lot of people seem to hate, haven't had much trouble with that. But like I was saying earlier, was the main thing is the bushings. I mean, it's not all peak suspension's fault, but maybe they didn't do enough R&D with it. Maybe I had to grease it a little bit more frequently, which I didn't, I'll admit. But kind of a silly design. Hopefully I could hit them up and get the Delrin bushings that they say don't need to be greased at all, and hopefully that does away with the problem at all, because I really like this truck and I don't want to get rid of the truck, but it's annoying me, these like little things. I feel like my truck has made noises longer than it hasn't made noises. If it comes down to it, I might try to hit up a couple other companies to see if they want to work with me, since I do have experience with a couple other arms other than just stock arms switching over to their arms. I have a couple videos on this stuff, so hopefully I could get someone to want to work with me. I know Camberg is coming out with a set of arms. I don't know if they're out yet. I think their website said first quarter of 2022, and they have a Heim joint instead of a polyurethane or Delrin bushing. I know Kibitech has a set of arms which are pretty damn expensive, but their stuff is pretty awesome. Their long travel kit's like $8 grand for the truck. I kind of want it. If you're watching this, Kibitech, you could send me a set on the price of on the house. Then there's also Baja kits. I'm not sure if they make just the upper control arm, but they do have a long travel kit also, which is pretty awesome. But there are a few more options for upper control arms, and I might be considering going down that road to try out other arms. So if you have these peak suspension upper control arms and you have a clunking noise, do what I did today and check them, because there's the possibility that bushing is the problem. And we are gonna check the inner tie rods when I get the new clamps to seal them back up after I take it apart. So that's it for me today on this video. If you have the peak suspension control arms and you're having a clunking noise, do what I did today and check that out. Make sure your bushings are good, because that could be one of your issues. I've had this issue before. This is the second time. Let me know down below. Let me know about the King shocks. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave me some comments down below if this was in any way informative to you. And I upload every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 3 p.m. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.